All right, Mark, I know you run a LinkedIn ads only agency. You're talking to people all day long. You're optimizing different campaigns. I have found that there are certain pitfalls that people, maybe new advertisers, will fall into. Can you share some of your pitfalls? Like, what are the things that everyone needs to make sure they are not doing to save money and get better quality?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, LinkedIn is a very powerful channel, but it is also a channel where it's really easy to waste money because there are so many of these pitfalls. If you're not very familiar with the channel, that you can fall into and waste a lot of budget. The first one that I always explain to clients that we work with is to turn off the default settings that are enabled within LinkedIn when you set up a campaign. So these are the LinkedIn Audience Network, which if you have that enabled, which it is on most campaign objectives, set as default and it's kind of hidden away a little bit, it will eat up all of your budget and it will mean that you are spending most of your budget and most of your advertising not actually on LinkedIn and taking advantage of all of the capabilities that come with advertising on LinkedIn. And you're actually showing your ad on a whole host of third-party websites that aren't always the most reliable. And we found that the quality of the traffic that comes through the LinkedIn Audience Network is really low quality. So we recommend to all of our advertisers to turn that off. There's no use cases really that we've seen so far where the LinkedIn Audience Network is good. The other one is audience expansion. What this means is that LinkedIn will deviate from the filters that you set up within your audience targeting to show your ads to as many people as it can. LinkedIn is motivated to do that because a lot of the time LinkedIn charges by impressions and by reach. So the more people it can show your ads to, then the more it will get paid. But the thing is, in B2B marketing, a lot of the time what you are promoting is niche products and you have a very narrow and tight target audience. So you don't want to deviate from that target audience. And LinkedIn is notorious from leaking from your targeting. And you can end up spending a whole host of budget on showing ads to an audience that are never going to convert and aren't relevant. So we always suggest to turn off the audience expansion. And the final one is using maximum delivery is set as default as your bidding strategy over manual bidding. And the problem with this is that means most of the time you're paying CPM, so you're paying per 1,000 impressions. On most ad channels, CPM and CPC kind of even out over time. LinkedIn is quite different for some reason. CPM is so much more expensive than CPC. And what that means is that if you are using maximum delivery, you're paying more per click, you're paying more for your impressions than you need to. So simply by switching to manual bidding, controlling the bid you go to auction with, you will reduce your CPC quite significantly, and then you get more from your budget. So that's the first pitfall that I tell people to avoid is don't use the default settings on LinkedIn. The next one that we see a lot is because there are so many different targeting options on LinkedIn for building your audience, it is very easy to get wrong. And also LinkedIn will leak and deviate from the settings that you put in place and the filters you put in place to try and show your ad to more people. And we've seen it on so many occasions that people have spent a lot of budget running ads. And then when they study the demographic insights, most of those ads have been actually shown to the wrong ICP and the wrong audience, and they've wasted a lot of that budget. So what we recommend is to get really tight with your targeting on LinkedIn, double check it to make sure you're not accidentally using or filters rather than and filters, get really tight with that kind of ICP targeting. And then also sense check against the segment breakdown window that you get when you're setting up a campaign and just see if your audience across industries, job functions, company size, seniority is made up of the right filters that you've applied and the right demographics, and if not, apply exclusions. And what we have found is that when setting up our audience targeting, where it usually ends up is your exclusions list is actually far longer than your inclusions list, just because LinkedIn leaks so much and you want to make sure that you tighten up your audience as much as you can.